प्रणाम एवरीवन। जय महादेव। आज हम आपको 23वें महादेव श्री मेघनादेश्वर महादेव की कथा सुनाते हैं। श्री मेघनादेश्वर महादेव की स्थापना की कथा पुण्य कर्मों की महत्ता और दोषों के दुष्परिणाम की ओर इंगित करती है। राजा के दोषों एवं दुष्कर्मों के कारण ही वर्षा बाधित हुई। पौराणिक कथाओं के अनुसार एक समय द्वापर और कलयुग की संधि पर मदांध नामक अहंकारी राजा हुआ था। वह राजा दुष्ट प्रवृत्ति का था। राजा के दोषों व पापों के कारण 12 वर्षों तक वर्षा नहीं हुई। वर्षा वृष्टि न होने की स्थिति में नदियां सूख गई, तालाब अदृश्य हो गए, यज्ञ वेदा अध्ययन सभी बंद हो गए। पृथ्वी पर सभी दिशाओं में हाहाकार मच गया। यह देखकर इंद्र आदि देवता क्षीर सागर के उत्तर में श्वेत द्वीप स्थित भगवान जनार्दन के पास गए। वहां पहुंच उन्होंने भगवान को प्रणाम किया एवं उनकी स्तुति करने लगे। तब भगवान ने पूछा कि आप लोग क्यों पधार रहे हैं, मैं आपकी अभिलाषा क्या है। तब देवतागण बोले कि प्रभु कई वर्षों से वृष्टि नहीं हुई है, कृपया कोई उपाय कीजिए। देवताओं की बात सुन भगवान जनार्दन कुछ देर के लिए ध्यान मग्न हो गए। फिर बोले कि आप सभी कृपया महाकाल वन जाएं। वहां प्रतिहारेश्वर के ईशान कोण में एक दिव्य लिंग है जिसमें वृष्टि करने वाले मेघ निवास करते हैं। आप सब वहां जाएं और भक्ति भाव से उस लिंग का पूजन अर्चन करें। उनके पूजन अर्चन से वृष्टि जरूर होगी। श्री भगवान की बात सुन सभी देवगण महाकाल वन स्थित उस दिव्य लिंग के पास पहुंचे और भक्तिमय भाव से स्तुति करने लगे। स्तुति के फलस्वरूप उस लिंग से कई मेघ प्रकट हुए और आकाश में छाकर वृष्टि करने लगे। संपूर्ण सृष्टि फिर से सुस्थिर हुई और पृथ्वी के सभी जीव जंतुओं, पक्षियों तथा मानवों का संताप दूर हुआ। देवतागण समृद्ध वर्षामान बेहद प्रसन्न हुए एवं उन्होंने इस लिंग का नाम मेघनादेश्वर रखा। दर्शन लाभ। मान्यतानुसार श्री मेघनादेश्वर महादेव के पूजन अर्चन करने से वृष्टि में वृद्धि होती है। ऐसा माना जाता है कि यहाँ दर्शन करने से पितरों को शांति मिलती है। उज्जैनी स्थित 84 महादेव में से एक श्री मेघनादेश्वर महादेव छोटा सा राफ में नरसिंह मंदिर के पीछे स्थित है। जय महादेव। थैंक यू फॉर लिसनिंग।
प्रणाम एवरीवन। जय महादेव। The 23rd Mahadev. Deep naman to Meghnadeshwar Mahadev. When the earth longs for the sky, this longing is a certain emotion. In fact, the emotion is very close to the tattva of water. When we are happy, we have tears in our eyes. When we are sad, we can have tears. When we are scared or we fear, we start to sweat. When we are working too hard and it's too much for us and we're exhausted, and that is our emotion. Again, we sweat when we are angry. Sometimes, there's a heat that arises which may dry us up. And even when, some of the emotions in our body which are stuck and are toxic to us. Our body tries to release it, flush it out through water. Rain, the tattva of rain, the showering of rain, is very similar to what happens when the water tattva has met the space. And that is when blessings drench us. When the longing of the earth increases, and by earth I mean the land, the people, the creatures, the trees, the tiniest microorganisms, the inorganic stones, everything. Because everything has a consciousness, it can be different, but everything does have one. And when this longing of this earth increases for the sky, when it starts getting parched, that is also an emotion. That is a song, that is a prayer, it is a note, it is a nad. And when this emotion it starts expanding, when it starts coming out of our bodies, when it starts becoming a part of the aura, when it starts becoming a part of the space, it starts becoming lighter and lighter. It becomes light in the physical light, where it becomes like, the darkness to light, and also the light which is not heavy, but it's becoming lighter. And it starts rising to the sky. It starts merging, the space starts merging in it. And it rises up, and one day, when a certain threshold is reached, it showers. It drenches us, it blesses us. And this is Meghnadeshwar. This is, the parched earth who has been longing for the rain is now drenched in rain. And out of this a fragrance that rises. And everyone can feel that fragrance. And that is Meghnadeshwar. So there was this king who was doing a lot of atrocities. He was doing bad karmas, and perhaps this had been happening for a while, and people were hurt, and the space and the land, everything was hurt, and maybe they felt they had no escape. Maybe these hurts had become heavier and heavier, denser and denser, and they had just stayed earthbound. And the king is more influential, more powerful, he has more Shakti, so he does have sometimes more power, more influence than an individual. And perhaps these wounds have stayed in people. They didn't merge in the space around. And Indra, who is the deva of the ecosystems, who is the deva of the ecosystem of rain, he could sense this. And he could sense the vibrational field of this. And he perhaps went to Mahadev, because he went to Vishnu first, who really wants to preserve and maintain the earth. And perhaps I can, when I can feel that, I can feel the compassion and the love flowing from Vishnu. And so much of the consciousness is love. So, and then in that love, sometimes we find the right direction, and he leads them to Mahadev. Even for our ancestors who are not liberated, they are earthbound because they have some very dense emotions which have not met with space. That can be sadness, anger, fear, and these are all concentrated. They are all attached to the ground. They keep you earthbound. And maybe certain ancestors who are not ready to let go, and they want to stay in that lower vibration. So now when Indra has met Mahadev, or he's praying and he's doing tapa to Mahadev, then that emotion again in the presence of Mahadev, who is spread out across the whole universe. Everything starts expanding, becoming lighter, going up, going into a higher vibrational field, and the block to blessings. The block is, it dissolves, and we experience a rain shower. This longing that we have, that is also a nad. And that emotion is a nad. It is our prayer to Mahadev. And when it merges in Mahadev, then there is a shower of blessings. The Megh Malharan, this is what I feel is Meghnadeshwar. For offering, you can take up a cause that you are very emotionally connected to. And because the rains, they happen for not just you or me, they happen for the whole region. So it is better to take a collective issue that you feel emotionally connected to, where you can feel the pain of that. You can feel any kind of strong emotion. And you can offer it to Mahadev, and that space will experience the blessings of Mahadev. There are so many places of drought, and then there are places with too much rain. Because everywhere there is different collective emotion, there is different wounds, and we can offer that to Mahadev. For for our ancestors, if there's an ancestor who is not liberated, feel the story of their life, and what was the, and you will feel the emotion. You will, because you carry that DNA in you. You may feel the emotion of that person, and you can offer that to Mahadev. If you don't know, you can just ask, is there any ancestor that needs to be liberated? And you may be able to feel an ancestor or a collective of ancestors who have a similar emotions, or you may feel different ancestors with different emotions. And as you offer them to Mahadev, this whole process of that nad meeting its Ishwar and the flow of blessings and liberation would happen. I completely trust. So this is my understanding of Meghnadeshwar Mahadev, falling at his feet with all of you. Jai Mahadev.
Story of Meghnadeshwar Mahadev is about the rains, the right amount of rains that earth should receive. This is what it appears. But actually, if we look deep, this story is about the harmonization of earth vibrational field. So let us understand that now there is a Gaia theory which says that earth is a intelligent mechanism and it self correct itself. It is alive. Earth is not just material, but it is alive. So there are a lot of scientists who raise the question that if earth is a self correcting intelligent mechanism, then there has to be a feedback mechanism. How does earth come to know that what is happening and what action it needs to take? So that feedback mechanism is the vibrational field of earth. Uh, Now the problem is that the vibrational field of earth can become weak or it can become stronger. There are scientific data for past 2000 years which is showing that the electromagnetic field of earth has been constantly coming down, though the recent data shows the past 20 years that it has begun to rise. So over the period of Kali Yuga, the vibrational field of earth, it really diminished in power. It is said about Satyuga that in Satyuga the earth received the right amount of rain. It received the rain where it was needed. Where the less rain was needed, there would be less rain. Where the more rain was needed, there will be more rain. So there was a kind of a perfect climate, a perfect weather. But now it doesn't happen. Why is that so? It is because in Satyuga, the electromagnetic field of earth was very high. So things would happen only what they are supposed to happen. The right things would happen. But as we have passed through the Kali Yuga, uh, uh, things have become very haphazard. So this story also talks about a king which came right at the end of Dwapar Yuga and before Kali Yuga, where all these problems with the earth happened and there was no rains and all. So this is what we have experienced during Kali Yuga. If you see the 500, 600 years back, there used to be so much drought and there was so much hunger, and we couldn't even feed a small population. There was the population was very, very small 600 years back. Even India had a very, very small population compared to what it is now. And yet it was not possible to be fed because there were droughts and there were rains and there were floods and just uh, everything was just haphazard. Uh, Now, why does that happen? Because in Kali Yuga, the electromagnetic field is so small, so things are haphazard. By sadhana, by observing the electromagnetic field of Earth, we can enhance it. Not only we can enhance it, but we can connect our own soul, our own electromagnetic field with the electromagnetic field of the Earth. Uh, we have heard that when Tansen used to sing the Megh Malhar Raga, there would be rains. Is it possible? Of course, it is possible because the vibration of that raga would be such that it would cause rains. Uh, so, this 84 Mahadev, Meghnadeshwar Mahadev, is not just about rains, but it is about raising the collective vibrations of earth. What we need to offer here is whatever we feel is going haywire on the earth. It could be wars, it could be a lot of the natural calamities which are happening these days. uh, Whatever you feel is not working right, and how take up a issue which is really impacting you, uh, and observe that what is the impact of that collective issue over you. So what my invitation is, look at any issue in the world which is impacting you and take that in observation. So what will happen is, we will not only our own soul evolution will be there, but we will also be contributing to the electromagnetic field strengthening of the earth. Uh, this is why this story also says that uh, the consciousness of Mahadev is also helpful in ancestral liberation. So what is the connection here? See, the our ancestors or any ghost or entities, they remain on the earth because the vibrations of earth are lower. If the vibrations of the earth go up, then they all will get liberated. So with our collective sadhana at this Mahadev, I really feel this is a Mahadev where we all should do sadhana about the collective issues.